Salve Discipoli. All right, so we are going to go ahead and take a break from meter a little bit to review a little bit of grammar, specifically the dative case, because we are going to be moving into some more of Catullus's poetry, and he has some very specific ways that he makes use of the dative case. So let's talk about those. So the first one is the dative of separation. We're used to seeing the dative case used as an indirect object, basically being to whom something is given. Now, the dative of separation is the exact opposite of that. This is from whom something is being taken. So instead of to whom, we're talking from whom. So we have an example here from Catullus's poetry, Tam bello mihi passerum abstulistis. You have taken away so beautiful a sparrow from me. So for this dative of separation, what you need is you need a dative first and foremost. Very frequently, this will be a pronoun that we're seeing used as this dative of separation. So you have your dative. You also are going to need some verb of taking away or removing, a verb of separation. So you're being freed from something, something is being taken away from you, you are lacking something. So, dative of separation, you should be looking for the movement away, and instead of to whom, it becomes from whom. We also have dative of possession. Now, we have talked about this before. You probably remember it best when we were passing around the owl from Harry Potter and Bubo es mihi, right? So, just a quick reminder, you have to have a form of esse as the main verb in order to use the dative of possession. It most frequently will be happening with a pronoun, again. So, like mihi es liber, so literally, there is a book to me. But that just sounds so clunky in English, and it's the literal translation. What we're really looking to say is that I have a book. So, just a reminder, Catullus is going to be using that dative to show possession. And here's an example of his: Lesbiae multi amantes sunt. Literally, to Lesbia there are many lovers. More naturally, though, Lesbia has many lovers. Okay, so dative of possession. Notice here on all of these, we were looking for a form of the verb to be. So in the first one, since it's simply just a pronoun and then the object, but the object obviously being the subject, we just have simple est. And then when you look at the other one, lesbiae multi amantes sunt, we get kind of a little complicated there by bringing in a participle, but everything still works the exact same way. So you still have your form of the verb to be. And then dative of reference is the last one we're going to talk about today. And this is kind of the umbrella for all other datives that are not easily categorized. So this is going to be basically to, for, or with reference to something is what the dative is being used as. And this is going to sound absolutely terrible, but the idea is to really use your imagination. Anytime you're reading Catullus's poetry and you come across datives, a lot of times if you can't easily identify it as separation or possession and you don't think it makes sense as an indirect object, you kind of have permission to plug that dative in however you think it's going to make the most sense. So like haec Catullo maxima laetitia est. So this is your hike, and the maxima laetitia est. This is your greatest happiness. So this is the greatest happiness is really the main part of your sentence, and you're thinking, oh, this is the greatest happiness to Catullus with a dative, but here you would be better off translating it as for Catullus, because obviously this is an item, this thing, this hike is making him happy, so it is for Catullus instead of to. Otium tibi molestum est. Leisure is troublesome to you. This is where we can see that indirect object translation coming in, but leisure being your subject is troublesome, and then to you, it's not really an indirect object so much because you don't have a direct object, because the item that would be your direct object is your subject. Okay? So, moral of the story there, when you come across a dative and you're translating Catullus's poetry, a to, a for, or to whom or of whom, all of these things are options for how you can translate those. All right, so just something to keep in mind as you are getting ready to start the next poem. I hope this all makes sense to you, and make sure to email me with any questions. Wale te discipuli.